Welcome back to another episode of the MonsterCast podcast with me, Mason Paul, and Cameron Miguez today. I would like to go ahead and thank our sponsors, Spur Hot Sauce. The Florida Sauce Slingers' own Spur Hot Sauce is a local-based business where Southwest meets Southeast in a clash of hot and tangy flavors. When you want to spice up your next meal, think of Spur Hot Sauce and make sure to give them a like on Facebook and Instagram and tell them MonsterCast sent you. Another one we got going on is Monster Truckinator TV off of Facebook. The Monster Truckinator TV, the place to go on Facebook for all things new and old monster truck related. They go live daily with new and old videos between Monster Jam and different events, so go ahead and give them a like on their pages.
Wow, you're getting better.
Good practicing.
What's going on, Mr. Mason?
Nothing much. Same old.
Well, before we get too far into this, take a quick second here. Unfortunately, we lost a young man in the monster truck industry today. Mr. Cade Weston, better known as Kid KJ, drove the mini monster trucks. His family, the Westons, kind of a big deal in the business. They were Kid KJ, if I'm not mistaken, was kind of one of the first ones to bring the minis out. And great young driver, and probably he was going to end up in a big truck, and that kid was going to make waves. So I just want to send our condolences out to his family and friends, and we're very sorry about the loss and hope the family can come through it okay. But with that said, this being Memorial Day weekend, also is the weekend to remember, all of our troops and our veterans, active, retired, ones we've lost, and ones still with us. So normally on Sunday nights at the dinner table, we usually bring family in, but we decided to go a little different tonight. Being Memorial Day weekend, we decided to bring a veteran in who's also a monster truck driver. So Mason, please bring in Mr. Tony Ochs.
How are you today?
What's going on, Mr. Tony?
What's up, guys?
The clips look a little different sitting outside the truck, don't they?
Oh, yeah. That's for sure.
Well, we want to welcome you to the Monster Cast. One of our big things we know Memorial Day weekend is all about remembering our troops and thinking about our troops and thanking our troops. So we wanted to make sure we had you on, being you're an Army veteran. So if you don't mind, before we get into the whole monster truck world, can we talk a little bit about the Army, how long you were in and what you did?
Yeah, sure. I served in the Army for 10 years. I was an Apache helicopter crew chief. Served in Iraq twice, Afghanistan, Kuwait, went to Korea. Was with 4th Infantry Division, 2nd Infantry Division, 1st Armored Division. And I got out of the Army. I joined up with Monster Jam, and it's just been a blessing, to transition from the Army and have something as spectacular as monster trucks to transition into, to keep me busy, because a lot of military come out of their enlistments or their terms or what have you, with nothing to fall on, and I'm just really fortunate to have you guys invite me onto your show.
Well, so you're sitting there saying essentially you're just a complete badass. So we need to keep jokes to a minimum. Watch what we say.
Hold on. Now, complete badass. Got my pit vipers, stash. Haven't cut my hair in months. Perfect.
All right. Well, just for a disclaimer, anything that offends you or upsets you during this podcast, it was all done by Mason.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was all Mason's fault.
It's going to be hard to offend or upset me. Unless you start bashing the military in America, and I don't think you guys are going to do that. So.
No, hell no. Well, all honestly, dude, we appreciate you and thank you for your service, and that's awesome. But so let's talk about how does it come about going from being in the Army, working on Apache helicopters? How do you come out of that and go into monster trucks? How do you end up in Monster Jam from that route?
Man, I got to thank my girlfriend of 6 years now, Brandy Valdez. She was a motorcycle stunt woman, and we met when I was still in the Army, and she had gotten hired by Feld Entertainment for the Marvel Universe Live show as one of the stunt riders, one of the Marvel characters, and I just happened to be getting out of the Army at that point in time, and I put my resume in with Feld, with Marvel Universe Live, and yeah, they called me up. They called me like 2 days after I sent my resume in, and man, I was ecstatic, because I didn't really know what I was going to do when I got out of the Army. I figured I would work on helicopters. Well, I followed Brandy to Marvel, and I worked with Marvel for, I want to say, a year and a half, something like that. Well, we built up the show, the original show, and put it on the road, and man, that was great. And honestly, I didn't even know Monster Jam was owned by Feld Entertainment until I started with Marvel. And yeah, I just started putting the bug in people's ears, and I knew about the Soldier Fortune truck, and they had the Black Ops concept in mind, and I got to talking with Keith, and he gave me the opportunity to test drive out of Tom's place, and man, next thing I know, they're throwing me right into a stadium tour with Carl Van Horn, Ryan Anderson, and you, Cam, you were there on that tour.
Yep.
And man, that was wholly nerve-wracking. I can't even describe the nerves of my first tour, with all these heavy hitters, and here I am, brand new guy. It was crazy. But yeah, sorry, I didn't even tell you what I did with Marvel. I was their motorcycle mechanic, we had about 21 motorcycles, and yeah, kept those motorcycles flying through that arena. You know, we had trials bikes and electric dirt bikes, and it was certainly a handful. I think the riders were more of a handful than the motorcycles themselves.
Well, I was really hoping you were going to tell us that you played the Hulk. That would have been cool.
Actually, I had to do a lot of work on the Hulk suit. It was like a robot, man. It had like electronic actuators and cylinders in it and stuff to move the arms and whatnot. I mean, it was huge. It was pretty awesome. But yeah, I got teased a lot, you know, because I'm a big dude, and everybody was like, "Yeah, we'll just paint you green and send you out on the floor." I said, "Hey, let's do it, man."
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. They could have saved themselves a lot of money and just, I mean, yeah. You probably don't talk as clear as the Hulk does, but you know, you could have tried. Well,
yeah, you know what's funny? That brought back a memory, man. The first time I did media training with like PR training in front of the camera for Monster Jam. The first thing they said, "Tony, you're going to have to enunciate, man." Enunciate.
The hell does that mean?
Here's the thing: in the Army, you know, you have all walks of life working together. You know, you got people from the South, you got people from New York City, you got people from California. You have all these accents that come together, and it's. I went into the Army with a Western Pennsylvania accent, and I came out with just this big range of accents from around America. That's crazy.
Well, so let's talk about Brandy a little bit. Now, for those who don't know, she works for Monster Jam now, and she was actually on the Triple Threat Tour, and she works on the ATVs and the Speedsters. Do you ever feel bad that your girlfriend works harder than you do at shows? I mean, she's over there busting her ass, mechanicking on stuff, and you're walking around signing autographs.
Man, yeah, I kind of do. I feel for her, you know, especially those late nights because, yeah, I don't do it so much, but some drivers completely obliterate their side-by-sides every freaking race, you know, and I feel bad when, you know, she's there working till 1 a.m. or whatever, trying to get these speedsters together, but, you know, she loves it. She loves the touring life. She loves turning wrenches. She loves riding. You know, she competed freestyle street bike in X Games at one point in time. You know, and took gold for women's. And you know, she's a badass. You know, so.
Well, do you ever have the balls to tell her when she's going to have them late nights to be quiet when she comes to the hotel room and not wake you because you have to rest?
Man, I kind of sleep like a rock, dude. So it's hard to wake me up, but man, I gotta hand it to her. She's awesome, and a lot of people don't know this, that new Thunder Alley that Monster Jam partnered with Cedar Fair, the amusement parks, and the ride trucks. I got to manage the ride trucks and pioneer that last year, and Brandy was actually one of the ride truck drivers, and so she was driving Monster Truck last year, but unfortunately due to this COVID-19 crap, couldn't do that this year, but she was supposed to. But now, you know, we got big news. You know, we just released the news to my family yesterday. We're expecting Brandy's pregnant, man. Yep.
Look at that! Look at that, Mason. We are late breaking news right now.
Yeah, the world. You guys are the first to know, the first of the public to know, where there's going to be a big Tony Ochs running around come December.
Great. Now CNN's going to be contacting us to talk about steal the story from us.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Anybody?
Well, congratulations. That's awesome. I'm very happy for you guys. Do you have any other kids from any other strange women you don't know about, or is this the first one completely?
Hey, not that I know about. No, no, I'm excited, man. We're both super excited. My family's excited. I've got a huge family. You know, we're all very family oriented, and really that's what it's all about. That's you could have everything you want material wise in life, and without family, you know, it just doesn't mean crap. So that's what it's all about
Yeah.
for us. We're stoked.
And and as many people that have complained about the whole shutdown and quarantine, people that live our life, that travel all the time and live on the road so much, don't realize how much of a break this is for us. We actually get to come home and hang out with our families. And
Exactly.
unfortunately for somebody like me, I come home and my wife realizes she cannot stand me when I'm here. But but that's neither here nor there. But let's back up a little bit. So we talked about, you did your first stadium tour with all of us superstars that we were there. But then you moved to the triple threat. So how is that? A lot of guys transition. They'll start out in the arenas and go to the big stadiums. But you kind of went the other way, and not in a bad way in any way, shape, or form. But you went from stadiums one and done to all of a sudden you're doing 4 and 5 shows a weekend. Now you're driving a monster truck, driving a speedster, driving a quad. Let's talk about how hard was that transition?
Really not hard at all. And, nobody knows this. I don't think I've ever told anybody. I actually contacted Keith. Keith would be my boss. Well, anyways, and I told him that I was interested in driving triple threat. So that's how I made it there. You know, a lot of people, I mean, it's not like a downgrade or a demotion or anything going to triple threat. It's just it's a great thing. It's just another branch of Monster Jam, you know. So I actually requested to partake in triple threat because that's my bread and butter, man. ATVs. Matter of fact, I was riding ATVs all day with my family today. It was freaking beautiful. I love it, and it shows. You know, I'm the top. Sorry about that, guys. I was in the top 3 for ATV riders. You know, in all of Monster Jam, and I'm a 300-pound dude. You know, so I mean, I get on it, pin it to win it, dude. I love it. So the transition there, it wasn't hard at all. You know, and as I'm not as physically fit as I was in the Army, but, I'm still fit enough to do that. And I enjoy it. I enjoy the fast pace of it. A lot of people, they just want to go to stadium tour, go to a stadium tour. Of course, I love doing stadiums, and I'd love to go to stadiums, but I love triple threat too, man. I think it's exciting. I think it's exciting to watch. There's a lot of critics of it, but I love it. So there's that.
Well,
yeah,
it definitely offers a different perspective. I mean, it's cool to watch you guys drive the different machines and have to jump back and forth, and it's completely, like I said, it's a whole other animal doing the arenas, doing 4 and 5 shows in a weekend. I mean, it's a lot of wear and tear on you, but it's funny you mentioned your size because we actually had Tristan England on the other night, and he was commenting on how normally when you're ATV racing, you can kind of push a guy out of the way, but you and Brandon Vincent, being petite fellers like yourselves, are a little harder to push.
Yeah, they have a hard time pushing me around out there. But you know what? You know who can push me, and I still can't figure out how he does it? Colt Eichelberger, man. He comes up to the back of my quad, my ATV, and brake checks me and runs right in, like square into my back tires, and like launches me forward at the turn. I still can't figure out how to do that to somebody, but he's the only one that can do that. So I'm gonna figure that trick out one of these days.
Sound like
but Tristan, on those ATVs as well. Tristan can run. Colton, Brandon Vincent, man, he's a big fellow like me, and he rips it, dude. And he grew up on ATVs and stuff too, and it shows the guys who really grew up with those machines.
Right. Well, one of the things we really like to do on here, and the reason we do live, is we like to interact and allow fans and people watching to come in and talk directly to you guys. So why don't we, Mason? We got any comments or questions for Mr. Ochs in there?
We actually got quite a few. There's a lot of them. 3 questions so far. Vincent Ackard wanting, what's up with the stash? Nick Vogler saying, hey, Matt Paglia. Oh, wait, it's not Matt Pagliarulo. We had your buddy Elvis Linans. He tuned in and said, y'all see that bald eagle in the background? And it's been a mix of a few of them. But one thing I want to go over before we go to the next few is what's up with that stash? It's really awesome, but is there a story behind that?
So, I mean, I don't know how many people that are asking these questions follow me on Facebook, but I posted a picture the other day. I had a big full beard, wolfen beard, and talking about how I need a haircut and stuff. Well, after I posted that, I'm like, you know what? I know how to really get on Brandy's nerves. And she hates this more than anything. She can barely look at me. I swear to God, she can barely look at me. So I went, shaved that mustache in, and I really got her. I said, you know what, Brandy? This mustache is staying here till that baby's born, due December 20th. So I'll tell you what, one time I shaved a handlebar mustache into my face, and Brandy curled up in the fetal position on the bed. We were supposed to go out for date night to dinner. And she curled up. She was already all dressed up. She said, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going to be seen in public with you with that mustache on. So I shaved it off that time, but she hasn't got. I've had it for 2 days now. She hasn't talked me into shaving it off yet. So
she's gonna let you rock. She's gonna let you rock the molestache, huh?
The molestache, good one.
Yeah, we got another one from. Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying I love the mustache, man. I like to change things up now and then. You never know. I might grow it back and have some big old chops or something next time y'all see me.
Well, it makes me laugh. We have so many people on here, and they have the big old beards and mustaches, and they're like, "Oh yeah, all the barbershops are closed." You can still shave. I'm 43 years old. I've never looked at a barber to get shaved. So,
and I mean, I'm 21. I still never have shaved. So, I mean, I don't know what everybody's arguing about.
Man, I'll tell you what. A decade and a half, I've had to keep up with appearances. Okay, so in the Army, we have what you call the AR 670-1, which is a regulation that has all these appearance standards. Okay, so I had to keep up with these appearance standards for 10 straight years. Have my hair cut right. My sideburns were not allowed to go down past the lowest part of your outer ear opening. That's what it says in the 670-1. Your mustache cannot extend past the corners of your lips and stuff. And then 5 years, with Felda Entertainment, I have to keep clean cut too. But right now is a great excuse to just let it go, man. I'm using COVID-19 as my excuse to let this thing happen. So.
Your cheat look.
We got a question from our buddy Austin Mitten, and his question is, how did you park your truck on top of Tom's Holler instead of in it?
Oh, man, well, that was a good time, dude. And I wish I had that freestyle on video, dude. I mean, we were out at the university workshop, and I was just freestyling the balls off this truck. And I had I believe it was a Northern Nightmare hood on, just shits and giggles. And man, I come bonsai'd that truck right over the pod, and my back wheels clipped the downside on the other side, or the top of it, and kind of bounced me up into a stoppie. And I was riding it, and I knew I was approaching the trailers. So I jacked the brakes on just to bail it. Well, I had so much momentum, the truck flipped forward, just ripped the shocks in half, all of them, out of the front. Freaking shock fluid blowing everywhere, oil everywhere, and the truck flips up, bam, and then rests perfectly. Both wheels like this, straddling 2 trailers. So Tom's trailer, and then the other wheel, another trailer. And guess who is watching this happen? Juliet Feld. Juliet Feld. And she stands up and I was told what she said was, "That is awesome." And she's taking pictures with her phone. I didn't get hollered at too much for that, surprisingly, but it was a lot of fun. There's still tire marks in those trailers. And Tom was supposed to retire that trailer, and he ended up touring with it for like 2 more years, I think. It got the tire marks right in it from me. That had
to be the old black one then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There was 2 trailers that I ended up on. It was crazy. I wish I had photos. I know Tom has that video. I know he does. I see him bring that video out about 6 months later.
Yeah, I guarantee he's not showing it to many people except for this is what you don't do.
Yeah. Well, it was kind of an honest mistake. I got tripped up and just.
Hey, look, I just contributed to that was poor decision on parking there. You can't blame nobody for that. I mean, that's just, you put a parking lot too close to the track. That's poor architecture design, track layout. Everybody else is to blame except for the guy driving.
Hey, I'll take the blame. Everything I do, I'll take the blame for it. Believe me.
Yeah, well, then you're doing it.
I'm sorry.
What else you got? Said you're doing it all wrong. Then you shouldn't be taking the blame. You got to put it on everybody else.
Looking at a few comments, and it's actually one that's sent directly to me. It's from a Marty Meninga. I'm not sure if you know him. I can't find it on the Facebook one here, but it was sent directly to me. Yeah, he was wanting to question. He was saying, "Hey," and he was wanting to ask you about that single log.
What about it? What about the single
log? I don't know. He only told me just ask him about the single log, and told him I said, "Hey."
Hey, listen. This was my 2018 routine. Okay, I like to come around, do a nice parade lap before I start my freestyle. Come around, just line up with that single log. Put that baby in neutral, give a couple taps of that throttle, just give her the old 1-2 and sail that bad boy right up over that single log, man. But I'll tell you what, I had a great single log moment this year. I probably shared it 100 times on my Instagram already. That was in where was that? Fargo? When I rode that wheelie all the way across there. Mason, you were there, man.
It was Tacoma, because I was outside getting both trucks. It was actually Tanner, because he had steering issues, but I was watching out from the tunnel, and you skied up, and you landed it, and you walked it all the way down the pod, and the safety tech was like, "That is the most badass thing I've ever seen this weekend." Like, that was pretty cool.
Man, I'm gonna tell you guys, and all the people that are watching this. There are very few more satisfying feelings than when you set a monster truck up perfectly and it's just coasting out a wheelie. You're not even working for it. It's just riding.
Right.
There's this moment of zen. That's the best way to describe it. It's so zenful. And it's like, America. And you're just coasting that wheelie across.
Well, I'm disappointed because you're talking about a single log. I thought he was talking about a sing-along. I thought getting ready to send some story about you singing with somebody in the shower or something. You and Marty in the shower singing or something.
I do sing in the shower. Brandy loves it. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but how does Marty feel about it?
Marty? Oh, me and good Marty Meninga, we were roommates quite a few times. So, he's seen me singing in the worst of forms.
Okay, we're going to end this conversation now.
Going back on and moving and talking about a few moves that you're able to do this year, one of the cool ones that was introduced to all little arenas was having the mini flip in all the venues. And I remember it was the day of practice. At the end, there was 3 people that could go ahead and test the backflip. I know Tristan didn't and Brandon didn't, but you did. I think that was your first time doing a mini flip, and that was just completely textbook. It was awesome seeing that done in person, and you still did it a few times this year. But go ahead and talk about the mini flip. Like, going up to it, like, were you scared when you came up, like, in Salt Lake or any other few weeks that we did have, you got to be able to do it?
Man, no offense, Mason, but there's nothing mini about a backflip. Okay, it's a backflip. Anyways, no, I mean, yeah, they give us the opportunity. You know, it was the first destination of on the tour. We were in Salt Lake City, and they said, whoever wants to go ahead and practice the backflip, you know, you're more than welcome to. And I just, you know, I wanted to hit it, and it turned out perfect. And one thing you got to realize is when you're doing a backflip, you really have to think about what you're doing. You know, it's really easy to accidentally stab the brake or have the wrong approach speed. You know, hold the throttle too long or too hard. So you really have to think about it. And I think I only crashed 2 backflips in my entire life, but I haven't done too many of them. I don't know, maybe like 10 or 12, but that's another satisfying feeling, dude. And it rotates so fast, you can't really see what the heck's going on. So what I like to do is I like to hit the ramp, hold the gas until I see the dirt, and then just give it a good brake tap, and that kind of helps the whole truck settle down a little bit more, a little bit better. And you know, it's not as mesmerizing as Tyler Meninga's straight to moonwalk or you know how Ryan Anderson does it, but you know, one of these days I'm going to attempt that. But for now, I like to keep it textbook and you know, keep the truck together and not make poor Butters work so hard. But I think we might have lost Butters, though. He's a realtor now, poor guy. But
okay, there's no way I'm buying a house from Butters. There's no possible way I'm gonna go. I walk in to look at an open house in Butters, and then they're going, "Hey, come on in." I'm leaving.
No, Butters, man, me and him been touring together for 3 years, and you know, I request him. I call the bosses down at the shop and make sure I got Butters, you know, with me again, because we're a great team together. But you know, with his new venture with real estate and stuff, I'm not sure if he's going to be returning to Monster Jam or not. So to him, I want to say best wishes and congratulations and good luck, buddy. Thank you for all your hard work on my truck, and yeah, sell some houses, dude.
To people that can't afford them.
Mm-hmm. That's
What
about right.
What else you got, Mason?
Still wait on getting a few more so I can answer a bunch more instead of just. It's been mostly just people kind of commenting in, just saying hi and hello. But going back a few years, you've had Butters for 3 years. Was he there with you when you drove the Punisher truck in Houston?
No, that was Mike. Man, I'm sorry. No offense to anybody, but I'm drawing so many blanks right now. Brister. Yeah, Mike Brister. Yeah. And that was a good truck, man. I mean, that thing was feeling good. I got to run that chassis was C103, was it? I can't remember. Anyways, I think I was able to run that chassis the following year. And, man, that was the best chassis I had. I think it was C103. But, yeah, Michael Brister, man, that was a real tight truck. I love driving the Punisher. I was supposed to drive it for 3 weeks straight, but due to some unforeseen situation over in Las Vegas, you know, they didn't want to push the Punisher so hard because you know how violent the show was. So we got to run it in Houston, you know, fortunately. And man, I remember the week before that I had an awesome run in Indianapolis. And then I turned the truck over at the end, just turning it around. Man, I kind of got hollered at for that one. Actually, I made an example out of me on that one. Brister, yeah,
Well,
he's a good.
well, so, and God, this happened to me the other night too. I started talking, I brain farted. Oh, I know. Never mind. Okay, I'm good. I got this again. Hang on. Give me a drink. Get my composure back.
Good, good.
I tend to have miniature strokes during the middle of the podcast now for some reason. I don't know what's happening. But so, what kind of reception do you get driving the Black Ops truck from other military guys? I mean, it's got to be cool for them that not only see a truck that represents our military and all of our heroes, but to also have a former military guy behind the wheel of it. So, what are some of the things people say to you when they come up? How do they receive it?
Oh man, they love it. I get a lot of people thank me for my service. And I get a lot of military families that have a family member that's like deployed or in the military somewhere, and they tell me their story. I hear a lot of military stories, from a lot of military families, and it's really just heartwarming, when I sit back and think about the position I'm in, and really, I just love seeing like the military kids, like military brats is a good.
Right.
That's like an Army brat, Navy brat. It
Right.
you might be former military to really understand that one, but just to see how happy they are to see see a vehicle that represents the military, knowing that their family is in the military, and just to see their faces, how happy it makes them, and to hear their individual stories, it's fantastic. And I haven't had any negative feedback on it, which is great too. So, and I love talking with these fans. I wish, like at the pit parties, I wish I had more time, because the line's so long. I wish I had more time to spend with each and every one of these, military members or their families, because there's a lot of stories to be told, man. There really is. And it's an honor. It's an honor to be in the position I am. That's about all I can say about it.
Well, now, do you ever hear from any like your guys you were either deployed with or just were in your unit? I guess I should say. Do you ever hear from any of them guys talking about who it is, what you're doing now? Or?
Yeah, dude, I get almost every city I go to. I have people I served with, a lot of friends and brothers. We're all brothers and sisters. We all took the oath, but almost every city we go to, I have people there that I served with, and it's awesome to bring them in. And one of the most awesome ones was, where were we? Denver, I think. My buddy Sean, he came and he brought some of his battle buddies with, and I got to honor them during the pre-show interviews and stuff. That's so fun for me, dude. Like, and another time, where were we? Austin, Texas. I think this was like last April or something. There was a whole platoon of guys came down. There was a staff sergeant that I used to serve with. He brought like 12 of his guys down, and I lined those guys up. When they came to interview me at the pit party, I had those guys lined up in front of the truck. I just grabbed the microphone from the host, and I started interviewing them, making them guys the stars. And I get a kick out of that stuff. I love it, dude. I love to honor the military.
Well, that's cool, dude. I like that. I like seeing that, you're paying it forward and paying it back, at the same time. And that's cool. What else you got, Mason? Anything cool coming in yet?
Yeah, we got a neat one from Justin Heaton, and his question is, what is your biggest accomplishment while being in Monster Jam?
Man, biggest accomplishment. I would just say, like, winning against Colton Eichelberger and Tyler Menenga and Barry Musauer and that whole crew. The first time I ever won, where was that? Tampa 2018, maybe. To win against competitors that are that challenging, just being coming from being an Army soldier to having dreams of, owning my own just dirt track car, it turned into driving a monster truck, but just to come that far, and I mean that was super emotional. Like I can't even really describe it, dude. And we had this inside joke, if I won, we were going to jail. We're going to jail tonight, man. And it was just a joke, of course, but man, when I won and everybody came up on the pile at the end, and Tyler and Colton and Barry are running up there. We're going to jail, man. We're going to jail. Oh, I was so thrilled, dude. That was awesome. I was in tears. And yeah, it was so cool.
Well, along them lines, something we like to ask everybody every week is, what's one of your favorite road stories? Behind the scenes, it's not going to get anybody sent to jail or divorced, but a story that you guys did, whether it be something you did in the rental car, something you did in the hotel, or just a group you hung out with. I mean, just what's a favorite road story you have up to this point?
Burnouts, man. Burnouts. We were so fortunate the last 2 years that every destination we went to was like out of the rental car place was out of, regular cars. So we get all these Dodge Chargers and Challengers all year long, And I can't think of any time other than on tour that I've had more nasty burnouts. I mean, where were we leaving from? I can't remember. I had Barry and Colton and Tyler in the car, and the shows were over for the weekend, and we were just adrenaline's still pumping. We just got done with the show. And I did a big old nasty smoker in this Charger. I think we had traffic stopped on the highway. Nobody even knew what the heck was going on. There was so much smoke. But yeah, the burnouts. And man, if you ever have Tyler Menenga on, oh my gosh! If you can see in the background, I don't know if you can. There goes that's my brother going with the American flag. He's got his razor back there going. He knows I'm sitting up here doing this interview. Because my whole family right now, they're having a huge bonfire and having fun. We just had a big meal, we're just having a great time all day riding and whatnot. See, I went off on a tangent. I don't even know what we were talking about now. Burnouts. Yeah, if you ever have Tyler Menenga on your show, just ask him about the Dodge Challenger, about the rear end coming unlocked. Yeah. I'm not very happy about that. Every time you try to swing that rear end around on a Challenger, the rear end comes unlocked and it shoots you straight. I'm not trying to go straight. I'm trying to swing the rear end around.
It's called traction control. Turn it off.
No, it wasn't. It would literally come unlocked, go right tire fire and throw you straight. So.
All right. So if Dodge is watching, if we could please get Tony a Challenger with a locked rear end, probably so he can do the proper donut. That would be greatly appreciated. I'm sure we have a lot of Dodge executives watching right now, so I'm sure you'll be getting a phone call anytime.
Yeah, I'd like to have a scat packages.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'll tell you, whatever. Sky's the limit. Ain't nobody going to see it, so ask for whatever you want, bud. What else you got, Mason?
Going back on that one question on the biggest accomplishment for you, go ahead and talk about you being in the Young Guns, or the Double Down, should I say, last year in the World Finals. I know I had you for my vote to get on right when you made it to the finals, because that was real close. But go ahead and talk about that experience.
Yeah, first of all, it was unfortunate for Nick Pegliarulo. He, he had a broken axle, I think, and they wouldn't let him go back
Yeah.
out. That's the only reason I went to the final. He beat me by half a truck length or whatever. And he beat me fair and square, So this should have been him in the final. Unfortunately, his truck was broke, but Lindsay, she was on point, dude. She had her line down. She did everything right, and I'll tell you exactly what happened on that final race. I was in the zone. I had it perfect, and when I was coming out of the turn, I looked up, and you can't do that. You can't take your eyes off the track. I looked up and saw Lindsay over on the other side, And just when you look up, that split second, it'll ruin everything. And I flat-footed that bad boy and just spun it out. And I could have went for a wild ride up over the pad, all crooked and stuff. But I figured I'd just get out of it and, save the truck. There's no sense in just smashing it all up, So props to Lindsay. She was on point, dude. Come out with the double down competition win and came out with the freestyle championship. Man, kudos to her, dude.
Well, you can get all technical about what happened. I can tell you what happened. There was the finish line, and she was there before you were.
That's a fact, Jack.
I mean, just to break it down to simplistic form.
Yeah.
Hey, I've never even got to cross the finish line, so I can't talk too much shit.
Damn it.
Right. We have one from Fred Oaks, and his question is, how many gallons of gas do you go through during a show?
Well, Fred, that's my uncle, by the way. I'm actually sitting at his house.
What you going to tell me? You typed your question for him.
Sorry, I got wind blowing my stuff everywhere. We burned methanol alcohol, and probably burned, 20 gallons or whatever?
10 to 12 gallons of sugar.
Right?
Yeah.
About 10 to 12. About 10 to 12.
10 to 12? Yeah, I never pay attention. See, Butters always has that thing topped off. I don't ask him how much goes in there. But yeah, 10 to 12 sounds about right. It burns quick.
I'm glad you approve.
We got one from Frank Patelli again, and his question is, I was at one of your first shows in Albany, New York. What was it like to perform in front of a live audience for the first time in a monster truck?
Scary. No, I'm not gonna lie. I was so nervous. I was really nervous. We had George Bellham was there, and he ended up beating me out on a couple of freestyles, but it was nerve-wracking. It really was. It was scary. I never performed in front of an audience, and I didn't want to mess up, didn't want to destroy the truck right off the bat, and get in trouble. And but it turned out great. I had a pretty sweet stoppy move up on the pile, and that turned out pretty cool. And never even put the truck upside down over there. That's what I was trying to do, come out of Albany in one piece. Just my first weekend, just come out of there in one piece, and that's what we did. And I'll tell you what, after that weekend, those nerves were just, once I got that weekend out of the way, my nerves were way down the following weekend, which would have been Houston, Texas. So my first show ever was in Albany, a small arena. Then I went straight to NRG Stadium in Houston. And man, just open it up. I don't know. I'm sure a lot of the fans that are watching this have seen those runs from Houston, which one of them was pretty awesome. I think me and Carl Van Horn and Jimmy Creighton tied for second place in freestyle. That was kind of crazy, three-way tie. So, yeah, Albany was a great time.
Well, so now were you a fan of monster trucks before this, or coming into it? Did you know much about them at all, or?
Yes, I always loved Monster Jam, and growing up as a kid, I was always watching it on TV, and I loved it. Yeah, I really loved it, and I didn't really know. I didn't really know much about it, to tell you the truth. I knew who all the famous drivers were, and knew that I'd love to drive one, But other than that, that's about all I knew about it. Like I said, I didn't even know Feld Entertainment owned Monster Jam until I started working for Marvel Universe Live. So.
Well, a question we get quite often, and I think it's one of the coolest questions. I've kind of stolen it. It's a really good question, but if you could pick any other truck, past or present, I mean, I realize Soldier of Fortune Black Ops was dear to your heart, but if you could go back and there was any truck you could drive and represent a different identity, what would it be?
Any truck,
Or present.
I always wanted to drive a Max D truck. I don't know why. I always did want to. I know you can't see anything past that big hood, but I always wanted to drive a Max D truck.
You always wanted to drive a motor bed.
What would be really awesome, and I've had this dream for a long time, would be to have a U.S. Army sponsored truck that had like a paint scheme like the U.S. Army drag car, with the black and the yellow and the black and gold, and U.S. Army, and blacked out wheels and black, nice shiny black truck. Man, that like kind of like Monster Energy's Escalade body, or what? It runs Escalade body, right?
Yeah.
Something like that, or like the Punisher body, with U.S. Army on it, man. With that paint scheme, that would be awesome. But
right.
That's whole sponsorship deal and stuff like that. So.
All right, what else you got, Mason?
I was actually going to segue this back into another question we asked Tristan last week, and we were going over like what's his favorite and least favorite competition or event to do in a stadium. He was saying he honestly struggled more in doing speedsters and going against people like you and Brandon. What about you? What's the one competition in arenas that you always seem to just struggle with, or just want to get through it? Or is there any for you?
I think speedsters, man. I had the worst luck this year, So it got to the point this year where I just kind of wanted to get through it, because I just my suspension, wasn't working right for me, and the machine just always wanted to roll over, and I needed to change my driving style several times throughout the season to really get a handle on the Razor 1000s, because we raced 900s for 2 years, and then this year our tour got 1000s. So that was a big adjustment. So yeah, this year I would say the speedster competition, I just really I was over it, by the end of the tour. I couldn't keep the wheels on the ground. I couldn't keep it planted. So.
Did you ever think about talking to Brandy, see if she put leaf springs on it for you, since you're kind of a bigger guy?
Leaf springs, yeah. Yeah. Ballast weights or something. I don't know.
All right. Why don't we do a couple more, and then we'll let Tony get back to his family.
All right. Looking at any last few there, it's mostly just been back with the video bomb from earlier. Justin Heaton commented in saying love the video bomb, and Fred Hoke saying that he loved the American flag going past. But one that I didn't get to cover that was actually from Tim Benton that he asked a little bit back. That was pretty neat. Tim saying he likes the Dennis Sanderson starter set mustache.
Yes, the Dennis Sanderson starter pack. Love it. Yeah, I like Tim. He's a good guy.
Oh yeah.
He was on tour with us, my first tour, 2016 as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, he actually had to deliver. He delivered some driver cooling units to where were we? We were in Virginia at the Cedar Fair Park, and Tim was coming up from Florida. He dropped by and talked to us for a little while and dropped off some cooler units, which ended up not being able to fit in those ride trucks. But yeah, good dude. Thanks, Tim. Love it.
I just got one more good one that just came in just now from Brandy. She's asking if you can please shave the stash off. I don't know if you just tuned in a little bit later, but
not going to happen. December 20th, baby. December 20th. when that little Tony comes popping out, then it'll get shaved off.
I've got $100 right now. Says come December 20th. That mustache has not been there for a while.
Yeah, you're
well,
going to be gone in the next couple days. We'll see.
Well, Tony, dude, I appreciate you coming on. It's been a blast. And hopefully we can have you on again sometime. But,
yeah,
you know, as far as for your military background, dude, we thank you for your service. And so happy to have you on tour. You're a hell of a driver. And hopefully we see you down the road here shortly before too long. Back doing shows again.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I appreciate it. Appreciate you guys having me on. And most importantly, I appreciate the ultimate sacrifice that, that our nation's armed forces make day in and day out. This Memorial Day is to celebrate the life of the folks that paid the ultimate sacrifice and sacrificed their lives for our country, and I greatly appreciate that. And I've seen a lot of soldiers go myself, and may they all rest in peace. I love you guys, and that's what it's all about. Have some beers, celebrate their lives.
I say toast to that.
Cheers.
All right, buddy. Well, we will see you hopefully down the road. Take care of that girlfriend and that baby on the way. Congratulations, and we will see you soon.
All right, guys. Take care now.
all right.
All right, Mason. Well, I would say good job tonight. Thanks to Tony. That was cool having a soldier on. Like he said, for everybody watching, if you're military, anybody in your family is military, thank you very much for your service.
Of course.
Don't forget, this coming Wednesday, we will have Lindsay Wink on. I believe we have some sponsors to thank there again, Mason.
Of course. We had Spur Hot Sauce again. I'd like to thank them for sponsoring us in and out. The Florida Hot Sauce Sauce Slingers Spur's Hot Sauce Own is the local business where the Southwest meets the Southeast in a clash of hot and tangy flavors. And our most newest one, Monster Truckinator TV, and he provides you the best place to watch new and old monster truck related videos day in and day out.
And I actually went to his page yesterday and kind of perused it. And dude, there's some cool stuff on there, stuff that I can remember watching years ago, and old Bigfoot video and stuff. So it's a cool page. Make sure you guys check it out. Also, Wednesday night we'll be introducing a new segment. Fun fact with Christopher Allen will be coming on and giving us cool history about whether it be with the guest that we have on that night or just something to do with monster truck history, and kind of leaving it up to his discretion. So that'll be cool. So make sure you guys check that out Wednesday night. And before we go, once again, to the Weston family, I just want to send our condolences. For those who weren't watching earlier, we lost kid KJ today. Tragically, young man, great driver, but forget the whole monster truck thing. Just a nice kid, nice family, and very sad. So our hearts and condolences go out to him and his family, and hope they get through this. So, and to anybody that possibly watching that knew them, sorry, and I hope everything works out. So, all right. Well, with that said, everybody have a safe Memorial Day, rest of the weekend, and we will see you guys Wednesday night.
See ya.
You're a young man, hard man, shouting in the street, gonna take on the world someday. You got blood on your face, your big